Great Grand Rising, come on in, beloved. Let's get ready to activate insight and forethought as we are continuing to lay a proper foundation in this high frequency month. Let me just put a Great Grand Rising up here on Facebook, and we're going to go ahead and get activated and make sure that that's coming in loud and clear. All right, there we go. Let me put a happy Thursday up here. And we're going to activate the success mind. All right. I said Tuesday. I said I want Thursday. All right, here we go, beloved. Sit with feet flat, back straight, hand on heart, hand on core. Take a good healing deep breath in. And exhale. And relax. Crown of the head. Pull the face down. Drop the shoulders down. Come on, relax. Uncross your legs if you're sitting. Breathe. Turn the focus inward. We're so thankful and grateful for this rich inner life, the kingdom that is within us. We're so thankful and grateful for everything in this vast universe that is within, that is supporting me. And moving, functioning, and living through this 3D realm. Last deep breath in. Exhale. We relax deeper as we're open to receiving all the good we desire and deserve. All right, beloved, let's activate insight and forethought. Give me a great grand rising. Let me know that you're here today. Come on, let's be very interactive in our comments today, and let's get going. All right, I'm going to be looking at notes for the email that will be going out as we move forward, right? So we want to talk about insight and forethought. There's a couple things that I want to say about this. Great Grand Rising, Jill. Thanks for joining us live. Couple things I want to say about this. So yesterday we started talking about integrating, right? Awareness and visualization. Now we're getting to the heart of the matter, beloved. We already laid strong foundation. Now we want to put building blocks in place so that we are extrapolating or extracting from everything that our conscious awareness allowed us to come into. And we want to integrate that with insight, forethought, vision. Right? Yesterday, we talked about insight, revelation, and opportunity that comes along whenever we hit what we perceive as an interruption or a roadblock. When you have the proper foundation built, and that is what we use gratitude as, right? And we're in the third dimension of gratitude, which is financial increase, and we're going to look more at that as we go along over the weekend. When you have the proper foundation in place, then you want to start putting building blocks in place so that you can create and build whatever you desire. And I want to take my time right here because this is not hype. As I used to say back in my pastoral days, no fluff, no stuff, just the real power, the real authority to be able to operate, to live, to create. So when we look at starting to put these building blocks in place, I want to look at insight. And I want to give you an in-depth definition of insight and forethought, both in a conventional sense and in a spiritual or esoteric sense, which that is where we land mostly in our community because we realize this is an inner and outer work. Right? So we want the inner foundation in place. Y'all know my saying, name it and claim it will not work for you if you don't have an inner foundation in place. So let's get this foundation in place. So when we look at insight as a spiritual definition, insight is about having inner knowing. I want you to write this down because as we teach the difference between understanding and knowing, right? We could have an understanding of something, an awareness of something. And my mentor teaches this in the process she calls Ayuk, right? But we've been in this thing for a long time, so they just correspond. Knowing is moving from understanding where you can You can say something, you could teach something, you can repeat something, you could share it with somebody, you could even write a book about it. But there's still a difference between understanding and knowing. So when we talk about activating insight today, we want to activate this inner knowing or divine revelation that transcends intellectual understanding. Now, that's enough for me to work with in our few minutes this morning alone, without even getting to the rest of the things that's here. When we activate insight, it is imperative that you shift from depending on other people, social trends, what's popular, what your prayer partner is saying for the moment. You have to transcend this intellectual understanding to get an inner standing, right? So when we talk about understanding, we're talking in a conventional sense where you're under something. But when we talk about inner standing, we're talking about a stance that you take within yourself that's based on a knowing or a divine revelation. So insight is the inner knowing or divine revelation that transcends, it rises above intellectual understanding. That's why I shared that if you are connected to people who are not prophetic, intuitive, heart-centered, have insight, have vision, they will not understand you. And you're sharing in vain. Now you can see why for so many years you may have talked yourself out of a blessing, an opportunity, because you're surrounded with people who are not at the same level that you are. They're not judging or perceiving or discerning at the level you are. So it's the ability to perceive deeper truth. Can you put that in your notes? Deeper truth. This is what's going to bring you salvation, beloved. This is what's going to bring you salvation. It is the ability to perceive deeper truth beyond the surface of reality, often guided by your intuition, often guided by the Holy Spirit's presence, revealing, showing, whatever language works for you. It's higher consciousness or spiritual wisdom. All right? In many traditions, insight is associated with the pineal gland or the third eye. Great Grand Rising, Anthony. Thanks for joining us live. I missed you guys so much, right? Yes. All right. So when this pineal gland, and another teaching for another day, what some call the third eye in some tradition, the pineal gland that's responsible for inner wisdom, insight, vision, intuition, another teaching for another day, right? Or inner wisdom. It's an awakened state where one sees through illusions and recognize the underlying spiritual meaning of events. This is what we will call discerning of spirits or discernment. In the true sense, discernment is not suspicion. It's an inner knowing that comes from a deeper level, all right? So watch this. Insight often emerges from moments of deep reflection. This is why we're always reflecting and assessing. Meditation or divine connection, revealing truth from a place of wisdom rather than logic. So when we start talking about activating insight, I want you to really understand what insight is, right? In A Course in Miracles, it says, insight is the moment when perception shifts from fear to love, allowing you to see with divine clarity. Now that's powerful right there. Powerful right there. A Course in Miracles, a sacred text I like to quote from, right? It's filled with religious language, but it's not a religious text, right? So watch this. It says insight is the moment when your perception shifts from fear to love. Perfect love casts out all fear, because fear has torment. Anytime you're being worried, overly anxious, you're being tormented, you're not operating in love. Love is the foundation for all miracles. So we want to start activating this insight, and then we also want to activate forethought, right? So I'm going to give you the conventional sense, because insight is the ability to understand a situation. That's just in a conventional sense. You can understand a situation, a person, or a problem deeply and accurately. But when you have this on a deeper revelatory sense, it's about an inner knowing, a deep revelation. Forethought, the spiritual definition in a spiritual sense, is the conscious act, watch this, of aligning divine will, wisdom, and intuition before you take action. That's forethought. Forethought involves spiritual discernment. And again, discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is, on its basic level, is observation. So when I was teaching in the School of the Prophets, right, and we were activating spiritual gifts and working with spiritual gifts, one of the first things I would teach people to start activating discerning of spirits is to go to the basic level of observation, to just go out, sit for a few minutes and observe. And then tap into the heart as you observe to start understanding and detecting energy. This is bothering me, excuse me. And detecting energy, right? So when we have insight and forethought, it takes you beyond delusions, illusions, noise, chatter, popular trends, what everyone else is doing. It even takes you away from the creepy crap coming out of that low 4D realm of vain imagination. It takes you away from that and brings you into an inner knowing. Beloved, this is why we have to come to peace. This is why we practice breathing. This is why we practice going into divine rest. We practice that. We practice that because that is what's going to help you transcend beyond everything that has been keeping you stuck on the same level. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. We know that. But now more than ever, beloved, now more than ever, you must tap in. You have to come into stillness, quiet, meditation, and transcend far above principalities, power, might, dominion, every name that's named in this 3D realm, and get inner wisdom, insight, and guidance. So we have dug a deep foundation with gratitude. And we're in the third dimension of gratitude, which is finances, right? As we build this foundation, we're building it deep enough with gratitude that we could start putting some building blocks for growth in place. And we want to start with insight and forethought. Because what were we doing when we was building that foundation, digging that foundation of gratitude? We were going into awareness, right? And so now we want to take all that awareness, what we've seen about ourselves, beloved, because this is about you, what you see about yourself, and we want to start integrating that with the vision, the insight, and the forethought that we see for where we're going. These are things that will cause true spiritual growth, beloved, allowing you to activate your power and authority over everything in this 3D realm. Take a good healing deep breath in and exhale. All right, I want you looking at those notes, thinking about insight and forethoughts, and we'll be right back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern. Bye for now, and have a blessed, wonderful, and amazing rest of your day.